I generally like to save these if it's over 30 minutes because sometimes the recording won't save, and then I don't want to lose more than 30 minutes of my life. So what are we on? What are we on? Actually, I'll try to pick up the pace a little bit. So we did timer loop that runs your tick function. And tick's argument is a collection of keys being pressed. I would name it keys, but my point in the previous one was just you can name it whatever you want. It's just a parameter, just like any other parameter you've written. And that's basically the point of me saying that like speed x is just a variable and stuff, because literally this is all just Python. There's no like mysterious thing to this. It's just all just different formations of Python. They've already learned. And like tick is literally just like a function, just like higher lower player. Was that a function you had to write? But so just like that. And then so we put an argument there in its keys, and then ticks is invoked by GameBox. Tick per second every times every second. So that means that we have a 30 here, that's going to run this 30 times a second. I think there's a cap if you do like 9,000 million times a second. It'll actually, let's see. It's not going like super fast, I don't think. Because I think if you put in big enough thing, there's a thing in GameBox that will actually cap it off and say like, let's know that. So then we won't require you to name any of the GameBox. We need to know how to use them and what they do. Yeah, so that's what I was saying is let's see. So I'm not entirely sure what it's saying. It might just mean just this stuff, but I think a good thing to do would be to look through this and make sure that there isn't something that you see that you don't know what it is. Like say that you're going through here and you say, what the heck is flip? Like I've never used that. And then you could like see that it's mirror image right there. So I'll scroll through this. There's also another one called see this GameBox docs and the API. I'll go through both of these and like just look at all these functions and be like, all right, and have I seen all of these before? And make sure that I don't even know what that stuff is. But yeah, just I would look over these and just so you have a good background, just in case I can't say anything on that. So then, oh god, now we're off to regular expressions. So no more GameBox. Sad face. That is not a sad. Oh, it did the automatic receiving. Okay, so we're gonna do regular expressions, and I am very rusty in regular expressions, so you will see me fumble all over the place. So first, you gotta do that import RE, right? So RE. That doesn't give us an error, so that's good. Making progress here, right? So basically, how about we just go over regular expressions a little bit? So remember that the lifesaver thing, if only you could use this on the test, was the pythex.org. And remember that there's a little cheat sheet down here. And there's also another one called regxr that Callie says is much better than Pythex, but I think she's wrong because I think it's better. So there's a cheat sheet down here, which is really nice. And you can basically this is like reminding you what all these little special characters in regular expressions and stuff. So and so I'm just gonna start at the very beginning. Let's say that let's say you haven't been to class in a while and you're like, wait, what's regex? Okay, so basically what this is, it's a fancy Control F. So if I'm saying like, I'm going to control the page for my imports, and see we have the import, and so see how it's like finding them on the page, and you can like go to the next one and stuff. Basically, it's a fancy version of that. I bet that this is actually running off of regular expressions, although I'm not super sure. So if I say Sean56, 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 which I always use as my example for some reason, and I always default hit save when I should. And so if I say Sean is going to match all the Seans, and see it says no groups over here, and it says 3 times. So that's actually 3 groups, three matches, and there's no groups there. If I put Sean56, it'll get the whole thing. If I just do N56, it will match those out of there. It doesn't care. It's just going to match whatever you see. And so that gets a little more complicated, right? So if we say Sean56, how about we put some groups around here? So this is when you put the parentheses, that's going to like make a group out of it, right? So now we see that the first match is 5-6 and 5-6 and Sean56. That's like the top level group. What if I put in here, if I say, put this in parentheses right there. So that's going to, don't hit save. So this is going to, basically, it's going to make a group inside the group. And can you tell me what order will the groups be in? Can you think? Yeah, so it's actually going to be the 56 is group number 2, and 56 is the top level. Because it's like, this is like I think it goes like, I think it's like what goes from left to right, where it sees like this parenthesis and then this one, so it's gonna order it that one. Actually, let's try that. Let's do an E. The E is a group 2, so it should have Sean 56, E, and 56. Yeah, and so then let's try putting the 5 in another group there. So I think, see, Sean 56, E, and then, yeah, so I think what you can do to determine what the groups are, I'm going to put another set of parentheses here. You can basically go left to right and see each parentheses. So the first group is going to be whatever matches this. So that's going to be all the way over here, the whole thing. And then which one's going to match this one? Oh, all the way over here. So the whole thing again. So we're going to have Sean 56, Sean 56, and then we're going to have the parentheses here. So we're going to have E, and then 56, and then 5. So we have. So we should have Sean 56, Sean 56, E, 56, 5. So that's basically the ordering of these groups here, how that works. And yeah, we'll work into that in Python in a minute. And any other things? Remember that if you're looking for these spaces too, then we'd have to do \s, and that would give us the spaces. There's no space after this last one, so it didn't match that. I think if you actually just put a space, oh yeah, it does work, I guess. Sometimes that's annoying though. Well, remember this is more general because this is white space. So actually, if we have like a tab here, oh really? Not? Are you kidding me? What if we have a new line? Yeah, I'll match that. So remember, it can do things that aren't spaces if you do \s, because it can like a new line, for instance. There's no space after here is matching in this case, which is really like \n in the computer's mind, but it looks to us like a new line. So then, all right, let's just go into this land of regular expressions. So the first thing on the list is re.compile. Okay, so and yeah, basically what these regular expressions are going into these things that we're using from this RE library, and I'd play around with these to make sure you understand like how just the concept of regular expressions. Because regular expressions is not like a Python specific thing; it's all over the place. It's used everywhere in CS. In fact, I think even like the stuff that like well, actually, I don't want to say that. If we go to assignments and you say like, you have to submit star, and this is a little different, I guess, because it's not like this is basically saying you can submit anything, right? So you can do like hi.pdf, but it's kind of like a similar concept, right? It's gonna be like kind of like real expressions there, but not quite, I guess. But yeah, it's all over the place. It's not just Python, yeah, so play around with these. I also have, if you go to Quizlet, when I was in the class, no guarantees on the correctness of these, but if you go to 1111, oh, sorry, this you are not going to see the screen. In order to, I have to open up a new, sorry, and yeah, there we go. So if you go to Quizlets, you will see something that looks like this, and if we go to S8wood, I am the dog, so it's going to be this guy, and then if you go to my folders and you go to 1111, I have one on regular expressions where literally the point of this when I wrote it was so you can do like this like learn feature here. Not wait, no, the writing one. Where's that? Yeah, there we go. And it will say, ooh, I have to switch the thing to definition. Here we go, and it'll say like match alphanumeric. Okay, so what is that? That's going to be like, oof. I can't even remember any of these things. That is it \s capital? Nope, it is \w. So yeah, these things you can practice with. White space \s under that. Yeah, so you can go ahead and practice with that if you want. No guarantees on the correctness of those because I did those as a student. Yeah, so yeah, practice with those. I don't know what else to say. You just gotta practice with it as much as possible. Okay, so I'm going to look at re. Okay, so Python done that all that, and you can see I'm kind of putting this off here. All of this is regular expressions. This is like the general topic of regular expressions used in Java and C++ and wherever you want to use them, fine. But Python has their own thing, this little library here, re, that deals with these things. Because you could write your own functions that would like evaluate regular expressions for you, but these could take care of us for them. So we imported re. And then the first one is re.compile. And let's see. Okay. And it's looking, so it looks like it's listing the symbols that it wants you to use here. So like, remember that your, so I'll go through these in a minute, but these are like your groups that we did, and like plus and star and question mark and stuff. Well, I guess I'll go through those. And I didn't really know where to start when I was doing that. So what is re.compile? Because this is an annoying concept, I think. When I was learning this, I was like, what am I doing here? So you can do like, well, first we have to have a string to search, which I always call x for some reason. And I'm going to say, I always use Sean56, Sean56, Sean56. I encourage you to put your own name there. And then what am I going to do? I want to get rid of this. Yeah, there we go. So one way that you can use this kind of thing, and you usually don't do this, but you say like re dot like search, I think, and then it's like I'm going to search x, and my regular expression is Sean56. And look, what does this do? And I have to give me a sec. Yeah, I mixed them up actually. It has to remember that your regular expression always comes before the thing you're doing. But you'll see the point of this in a minute. You probably haven't seen this syntax before. This re dot instead of like re.compile and then use your like compile stuff. I'm going to show the point of this is to show you how it's different there. So basically, this is the way you would use this is you'd say re.search and then yeah, you just learn search. Normally, yeah. So search. We'll get to that in a minute. So basically, we're going to search our, we're just, basically it's saying re.search, which is calling the function from re, and it's going to just, you have to, so when you call it directly from re, you have to put your regular expression like as the first argument, and then the second argument is whatever string you're doing, and x is this whole thing right here, right? So if I print this out, it's actually going to print out a match object, which is like this thing in memory that it found that. If we're looking for something that isn't in there, I think it will be like, what does it say? None. So it's going to do none if you don't find it. But see, when you find it, it's going to be this match object. And I think you can do like, let's see, if I say re.search.groups maybe, and then yeah, so we have an empty tuple. Hold up. Oh yes, so you have to, if you get an empty tuple, sometimes this works. And again, remember I'm rusty with it. Yeah, so if we wrap this whole thing in here, it's going to get that top level group. You see Sean56 there. Hold up. Yeah, we'll get this in a moment, but because I'm forgetting what my point in all this is. But yeah, we already have search, and we plugged in a regular expression, and we have the string there. And I'm just doing dot group. Basically, I did this search object dot group 0 is going to do Sean56, and we'll get to that in a minute too. But why am I showing you this? So another thing you can do is you can so this is like one search. Like this is a search, but we want to make a searcher, something that's got like a machine. So I like to call it like my searching machine equals re.compile. And then we're going to put in this regular expression here. And remember, you have to have this r right before here. And then so we'll do like so we do Sean56 there. And so then this machine is going to be a searcher that's going to run on this regular expression Sean56. And that's from the previous one, right? So then if we say, remember it's like your compile one dot search and then text was doing. So now we do machine instead of re, machine dot search, and then now we don't have to put this regular expression here because it's built in. So then we just put x, right? So then I can print out this, and that will be our match object, right? So yeah, we have this match object, and I could do that group 0 thing, which I can't entirely know what does, but yeah. So we have this 5 6 right there. So basically, the point of me showing you this was, if you want to use the function directly from re, you like re.search, and you put in your regular expression, and then the one you're searching. And then otherwise, you can make one that you can reuse multiple times, and then you won't have to type in this regular expression every single time. This will be built into your thing. You just do machine.search x, and then there you go. So that's what compile is doing. Compile is going to return what if we print out the type of this? I wonder what this is. Print this thing. Let's usually show you the type with objects. Machine. Oh, whoops. So that's going to be a hold up. Yeah, if you print out the type of this thing, then it's going to say, look, it's like it's a regular expression machine thing, which is called a SRE pattern apparently. So yeah, that makes sense. Maybe regular expression pattern or something. So yeah, that's what compile does. It makes a searcher machine that we can work with. And then so now we're going to look at search, and I can't remember any of this, so I'm going to show you where you can find it. So you say if you Google Python RE, That is not what I wanted, but hey, it worked. Python expression is with the 3.61, right? So there we go. So now let's look at dot search like this. So remember, this is the general one right here. We have re.search, and you have to pass in your regular expression, and then you pass in the certain thing you're doing. But we have this machine that we've made. I'm going to put it back to where it was. We had machine. So we have that right there. So this is going to be the one we're working with because that's usually what you work with. So now we can do machine.search x. And what is this going to do? So basically, it's going to give me a minute. What I'm seeing here is we have if we do dot search, then basically this is going to return a match object. And what the heck is a match object? So I do not want to make this a bookmark. If we do a match object, it's going to be this thing. And it has everywhere. And I found it up at the top. Match objects. Yeah. So basically, the match object is what you're searching is returning, and you can work with this. You can do the group of the stuff, and basically you can see here that it says all these things like the group 0 is going to be the entire match. Let's try that out. So if you say my match or equals, because this is going to return the match object, right? So you have to store it somewhere. So you just put it on the line. That's like writing 7 on the line, right? Back to test 2. Let's print my match. I'm going to call this y. I can't type all that. So we have y dot group 0. What is this going to print out? Can you think? So it's going to print out Sean56. And the reason it did that is going to print out the entire match. And all right, I think I've tested it out, and I know what search and group does. Okay, so we have the machine, re.compile, Sean56, and y is going to be just a match that we did by searching x using our searcher machine. And then remember, if you search it and it's not in there, it's going to return none. If this was I don't know, happy face, then that's not happy face. That would it would return none there. So basically, I set up this little loop here, and it's saying that while we found something, basically, I'm going to print out that group 0, and then I'm going to mess up the string there. I found this one. I'm just going to mess it up real quick, and then I'm going to search it again and see, because I wanted to see if the group was just finding one or all of them, but it turns out it's finding one at a time. Because see, I get Sean56 3 times. So basically, what search is doing is it's finding it's kind of like string.find, I think. It's like finding the first one in there, and it's going to turn that group there. So if we do print y dot group 0, then it's going to print out that first one that we found there. What if you do empty parameters? What happens? It's going to give you the top little one, the 0 there too. Now, what's interesting, if I wrap this in parentheses, I wonder what happens. And these are the kind of things that you should be doing, right? Just like trying to change it up, see what happens. And then there's like this thing called groups, right? So that says I have a top level group Sean56 there. If I get rid of these parentheses, and I do groups, I'm going to get an empty tuple. And I think what this is saying is, because remember groups, if we look up on here, if we say groups like this, so match.groups, this is going to return a tuple containing all the subgroups of the match from 1, however many groups, and blah, blah, blah. Let's see, yeah. So if we don't have this in parentheses, it did get a match. So if we have it right there like that, if we didn't get a match, if this was something else like K or something, then we're going to get an error because we did none.groups, which you're not allowed to do, right? So what it did is it definitely found a Sean56, right? And sorry, I couldn't figure out if my things went. So it definitely found one, but we don't have any groups. We just have the string. So in order to add a group, you just have to wrap it in parentheses. And normally whenever something goes wrong in regular expressions, sometimes I just wrap it in parentheses, see if that works. So that did the Sean56 there. So and let's move on to the next one then, and I'll come back and maybe go through this a little bit more. So then let's see. Well, we have find iter, and so that's going to return an iteratable thing, right? Find iter. So So yeah, you can loop through this thing like a for loop, where you say like find iter in the text. I'm going to print out. Remember, the group 0 is going to be like what it matched, kind of, right? So I can say y equals machine dot find iter, and we're going to be the one we're searching, right? X. I'm going to say for I and y, and I'm going to say print I, and that should be SeanFive6, 3 times. Oh, and then print the match thing, right? So in order to change this, how do I fix this? Ready? Dot group 0. That's going to do SeanFive6 3 times. I'm going to change. I'm tired of saying this over and over again. What's another search do? I'll say Dean Groves 5 times. 2, 3. Oh no, wait. There we go. Dean Groves. There we go. So we'll search. Oh, let's see. Search to change. I don't. Hold up. I'm pretty hungry, so I'm gonna make a pizza. I just don't want. I don't want to do it with the space. Pizza, and then I'm just gonna do that a bunch of times. So let's do 5 pizzas. I'm pretty hungry. So now we have to change the rate expression to be pizza, and then there we go. So we got those pizzas. That was pointless. I don't know why I did that. But yeah, so let's find iter. So find iter is basically going to return an iteratable thing, which is kind of like a list or a tuple or a range or anything that you can for loop through. It's going to return the match objects there. So see if we just printed out I, then it was the match object. If I print out y, then that's going to be like the iteratable things. As this says, the first one here. Oh yeah, a callable iterator object. So that's what that is, printing there. And then I can loop through it and print out each one like that. And if you do, you can just get what it matched by doing group 0 like that. Yep. And so why is it group 0 too? So that's a good question. Yes, I'll come back to that. I think it's just like the top level thing it's doing. And then like if you don't have any parentheses, I think it just does the group for you just fine. What if I put them here? I don't think this changed anything actually. Yeah, I think that will actually give me a group 1, maybe. Yeah, so that if I put in parentheses, that'll give me a group 1. I will not have a group 2, because that'll be out of the index. So okay, so now this is what this is doing. So group 0 is just like the top level thing, whatever. So okay, so we have 3 parentheses here, 1, 2, 3, and then we're gonna have 3 here, 1, 2, 3. Then so if we do the top level group, so if we just do group 0 or group with empty parameters, right? That's going to be pizza like that. And we can also do group 1, which will be this group, which will be the same thing, right? Pizza. And then we can do another group in there. So we can do 2 right there. And then we do another one. So we have 4 different groups that we can go through and look at. So basically, I would say that to remember the maximum group you can put in here is the number of parentheses you have here, it looks like to me. And if you see anything, again, I'm kind of rusty on these. If you see anything I say that's blatantly wrong, please put it in the comments, because we should all know that. So yeah, so we have the group. Yeah, and I'll look through that a little bit more too. Hold on. Yeah, so remember we had these 3 parentheses things, and I did like group of 0 was giving us that top level pizza one. But if we want to see all of them, we can do groups, and that will return a tuple of all the subgroups that we have. Not that top level one, because maybe we had kind of like 4 we could go through, but this is going to give us all 3 of them, pizza, pizza, and pizza. And then I bet if we do, let's add a 5, 6 on each of these, we can get a little more crazy here. So if we have, we're going to be searching for pizza. Pizza is our first group. Ooh, I'm just going to do 5, 6 like this. And so what is this going to put out? So we have just 5, 6. When we matched the whole thing was pizza. So that's kind of weird, right? Now if we do group 0, then we're going to probably see the whole thing, right? Pizza 5, 6. Because the group 0 is just like what you found, right? So if we do group 1, then that's going to be the 5, 6 there. So when you do groups like that, so that's going to give you the subgroups, which is only going to give you that 5, 6 there. So if this ever happens and you get annoyed, but typically what you can do is just wrap them in parentheses right there, And then, look, we'll have the first one of these will be the 5, 6, and repeat the whole thing, and then the 5, 6 there. Because we have the whole thing in parentheses. Now we have like this first group is going to be that one, right? And so normally what people do is they'll have groups and they'll index the 0 in order to get what they matched, right? And they'll be really confused because they won't have parentheses around here like this. And then it's going to just put out 5, 6. And they'll be like, what? I want to match the whole thing. And it's because normally you can just wrap it in parentheses. And then that doesn't work. Parentheses. And then, yeah, they'll give you the whole thing there. And sorry, I'm kind of rusty on those. But yeah, so that's group and group n. Yeah, so group with empty parameters. Remember, that is just going to be the 0th one. There we go. Yep, it's going to be the 0, 1 because it's going to be the whole thing you matched, right? And then you can also put in the one you found. So we have 2 parentheses here, so we should be able to go up to 1 and 2. So group 1 is going to be the whole thing again. And then group 2 is going to be 5, 6. All right. That one's done, I think. All right. So that's his regular expressions for you. If that was like disordered 2 disorders for you, what you can do is go ahead and look at Python regular expressions, or just like, any kind of regular expressions on YouTube. There's all kinds of stuff, because this is a very general concept. Regular expressions. And there's like all kinds of people that will teach you everything you need to know about them. I don't do theory stuff because that will be like legit regular expressions, but yeah, there's some more. Why am I clicking? Stop. Wasting your time. Okay. So yeah, YouTube. And that's another thing. Don't ever underestimate YouTube. You can learn pretty much anything you want on there, including this video, right? All right. Open. Okay. I know open. I can help you open. Okay. So this is like my favorite thing we learned in this class. This is super useful. I use it all the time with Empathy. And yeah, so basically we're going to have a text file out here. I'm going to make one real quick. Hold up. So yeah, I've made this this file here, hi.txt. It's just a shopping list that just says milk, Oreos, grapes, lizards, and tea, because you always buy lizards when you go and get that, right? And you're going to see it over here. So yeah, so this is our file that we're working in. Actually, I am not. Wait, am I recording? Yes, I am. Okay. So this is the one that we are working in, and we're going to be working with that file, and it's called hi.txt. So, so I'm going to teach you the way that. Well, first I'm going to go through the way that I thought that we learned the first time. But usually we use like this with as syntax. There's a better way that I think it's pretty simple. It's kind of like that URL syntax you have. I always name it y for some reason. And I say y equals open, and I say hi.txt, and then you can put some kind of parameters in here, right? So remember, you can do w, you can do r, or a, and each of those can have a plus after them, right? So what do each of these do? So what if we have w, then that is not what I want. W, and then a. Are all of these going to try to do that? Actually, you can probably find these pretty easily. So yeah, we're just talking about this this second argument here, like what kind of options you put in here. Because remember, this is reading, this is writing, this is appending, this is writing and reading, and then this is reading and writing, I think, and then this is like appending and well, yeah. So let's just look through this list here. This is just Stack Overflow. So this is open for reading only. So if you do y.write. If you try to write to the file when it's in reading mode, you're going to get an error because you can't do that. But if you want to open it for read and do that, that's going to, if you do r+, then you can read from it. It won't delete everything in there. Because remember, if you open it up with w, it's going to, if it already exists, if the file does not exist, it's going to make the file in memory. If it already does exist, it's going to delete everything in the file. Also, I think w+, w+. So basically, the difference between w+ and r+, because they both allow for reading and writing, right? Well, w+ will clear out everything in the file. So if you have a bunch of cool data in there, it's all going to be deleted. What do you do? W+. Sometimes you want that, though. Sometimes you have a program that's going to run on the same file, but you want to update it every time. You don't want to make new files every time. So you just clear it out with w+, and then you can read and write from it. R+ is the safe one, if you know, but this one, the file has to exist already. You can't, that's kind of like the trade-off, I guess, because W and W+ are going to create the file if it doesn't exist or overwrite it, but R+, it has to already exist. Sometimes you'll just open it for writing and then close it and then open it for, actually, it doesn't make sense. Never mind. And then A, so basically the difference between So A is like appending, which is like when you open a file. It's basically opening an R plus, I believe, where you can read and write to it. Over file for appending. A plus. Okay, so A is only allowing for reading at a time. But the difference between write and append is write is going to start. So if you open up for writing, actually, yeah. So if you open up for like in W, it's going to clear out everything in the file like this, and then you're going to be able to add whatever you want or whatever. But append is going to just put the cursor at the very end of the file, and then you can keep writing to there. And then if you want to read from it also, like you want to add stuff to the end and then read the whole thing, you'd have to do A+, which would do that kind of thing. So I think those are the ones that you kind of deal with. I don't know if you did all those, but it's like W, R, and then A, and the pluses on those, what those do. If you have any more other questions about that, go ahead and leave them in the comments. But you can find cheat sheets like this online. What does B do? This file binary format. Okay, that's weird. So what are we on? What are we on now? What are we on? So yeah, so that's open. So if I open hi.txt, I do not want all this my shopping list I spent hours on to go to waste. So I'm gonna open it for R plus, so I can read and write from it. All right. So I can say y.open that, and if I run this, yeah, nothing happens. We just opened it. Fine. And usually once you're done with all of it, you y.close. And usually what this does, that just saves like what you're doing. If you don't y.close, sometimes it won't actually like save it to the file. This is kind of saying like, all right, Mac or Windows, whatever you're in, I'm done with this file, save it, and now do whatever you want. So now what can we do once we have this y=open thing? And let's see, we have print. Oh yeah, so there's one, the way I usually do is I say like y dot, actually so I'm going to do it in append mode, because that's going to go to the very end. So I'm going to say y dot write, I'm going to close out of this first, because that's not going to update for me. So if I do cat this is what the shopping list is over here. So if I say, actually give me a second. There, I have little nifty lines for you can see what it is. So let's say we open, open hi.txt in append mode. So it's going to be at the very end of the file, right? I'm going to say y.write. So basically there's, well, let's just try this out. So what's another thing we're going to buy? I want to buy pizza. So I like pizza. So we're going to y.write pizza and then close it. So we're going to first have to run the Python program. Then we go back to here. We see that pizza has been added to the end of the file. And what's interesting is if let's do multiple writes here. Say y, because it didn't put a new line at the end, which is what I'm trying to show. So if I say y.write ice cream, and then so I'm going to run this and then show you. So see, it says pizza, ice cream. Like, why is it not doing the new lines like that? And that's the one thing you gotta remember if you ever use write, and this is going to be different from the print. Print takes care of this for you. But if you use write, you have to put the new line at the end of it, because that's going to make the new entry for you. So if I go back here, I'm going to run this a few times. You'll see that now we have it nice on new lines in there like that. So all right. So now we're going to use print, and this is going to do the same thing. It's basically all you have to do. If you don't want to deal with that new line thing there, then what you do is you say, I'm just going to print ice cream, and then I'm going to say file equals y. This is the second argument to a print statement. You say file equals y. So if you run this, and then actually I'm going to edit. Even what is it? Hi.txt. I'm going to get rid of the stuff that we added, and then so we're going to add ice cream to our list right now. Looks like this, and then we're going to run the file, and then now we added ice cream at the very end, and we didn't have to do the new line thing. It took care of us for us. If we run this multiple times, we'll see multiple ice creams in there. Totally fine. On new lines, totally fine. So normally people like to use this print, and the syntax just print your string and then comma 5 is y. I bet you can do multiple things. Like say print ice cream 5, 6, and file is y. I think this should work. So I should run the file, and then so it's going to do ice cream 5, 6, and then a new line, because remember it's going to put a new line at the end of everything, because that's what print does. If you don't want that, I guess you could do end equals this, and I think that might work if you didn't want a new line there. So let's see. Yeah, so that actually got rid of the new line there. So if you want to print to function like that y.right, or you don't have the new line, you do that. But I don't think you have to do that. Basically, what I'd say for the test is definitely know this print and file equals f. Try this out on your own. And definitely try out different things like with the right and the append and all that, and see what all those do. Then we have this with as thing. And, I feel like this is just making it annoying. Basically, this does the same thing that we're doing. I'm like 90% sure. So let's get rid of the new stuff. And then so we're gonna add ice cream to there, and I'm going to make this simpler here. So we're just gonna opened up. And then, so if we run like we were seeing before, nothing special here, just like what we were doing before. Crap. Yeah, it just does ice cream on the end there each time we run it. So basically what with as is doing is just changing the way we said y equals this. So we can say with, the weirdest syntax, with open that as y, and then we put these inside of here. And then that will do the same thing. Well, this is what we had before. We're going to add one more ice cream. So if we do that, and then we run it, we added another ice cream, just fine. So basically it does the same thing, except you got to like indent everything, and then it's like with as. I think, I wonder if we take this out, if that'll crash it. I think everything has to be indented in there. But give it a shot, and we didn't get any errors. So let's do this outside of here again. So I thought this would cause an error or something. Yeah, so that's going to, oh, I guess it closes it for you. Interesting. It already closed outside of this with as. So you don't have to do the y.close. Okay, I can kind of see why people like this. So then you don't have to do the y.close there. And I guess if you close multiple times, it's not going to get mad. Interesting. Yeah, so you can close an already closed thing. You just can't write to it because it's already been closed there. I prefer the syntax where it's like y equals open this, and then you can do whatever you want with it. But if you want, you can use this with as. You don't have to actually have this close thing there because it'll take care of it for you. To see, we have. I'm gonna get rid of the new ice cream so we can see it again. Sorry. There we go, and then need to run it. Yeah, we added one ice cream to there, just fine, and it closed it. Yeah, we didn't have to do the close. So, and then debugging strategies. Nope. That's probably in the I bet. What you're gonna do is you're gonna go to the CS website. You're going to go to schedule, and you're gonna say debugging, and then I don't know. There's probably like some notes in here somewhere. I'm sure you've learned this in lecture. I don't know the formal debugging ones, but I'll leave that to you. What I would say, if you want some just general debugging things, is print everything. That's always a gimme. And then what else? Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Step through it. Use that. What is that weird? Isn't there some website where people use like Python tutor or something? Where like, was it highlighted for you or something? Oh, it looks like the thing that we had in the thing. Okay, but yeah, I just like to print everything. That's what I do. And then yeah, here's your previous exams. Remember that and don't worry, I know I missed something up here. I'm gonna come back to that. But remember that writing in paper. Paper is definitely the hardest editor there is. Harder than Vim or Atom or PyCharm. It is very difficult to do, so make sure you practice it many times. Practice with all these exams and coding by hand, because it's very different from coding on computer, because you can't print stuff and use Python tutor and all that stuff. And I don't see anything else. It's a short list. Okay. So I'm going to make a part 3 where I just go through some of these things and maybe glaze over these again. But if not, good luck on the test.